Continue now at the top of Daf Yomi Gemara Amud Aleph Meseches Eruvin. This is Eruvin Daf 13a. The Gemara continues quoting the Mishnah. Rabbi Akiva Omer al Zeh ve'al Zeh nechleku. According to Rabbi Akiva, the machlokas Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel about whether you need both a lechi and a korah, or either a lechi or a korah. That machlokas applies whether it is whether the entrance to the mavoi is less than 4 amos or whether it's more than 4 amos. It doesn't make a difference. So the Gemara says Rabbi Akiva Hainu Tanakama. Rabbi Akiva is saying exactly the same as the Tanakama. Rashi says to Katani Hechsher Mavoi Beis Shammai Omer v'lo maflik bein Katzer l'Rachav. In the very opening of the Mishnah, the Tanakama brings the machlokas Beis Shammai Beis Hillel, and there's no distinction between a wide entrance or a smaller entrance. So that's exactly what Rabbi Akiva says. So the Gemara answers, Ika beinayu de Rav Achli v'yitema Rav Yechiel v'lo mesaimi. The difference between them is the statement of Rav Achli, and some say Rav Yechiel, but we don't know who says what. Rashi here explains, de Rav Achli mavoi pachos me'arba tfachim. Rav Achli made a statement earlier that if you have a mavoi where the entrance is less than 4 tfachim, chad minayu islay deva arba ume'arba ulamala pligi avol pachos me'arba in sarach klum. One of those Tanaim agrees with Rav Achli and says that if it's an entrance of less than 4 tfachim, you don't need anything at the entrance, and the other one doesn't agree. We don't know which one holds like Rav Achli and which one does not. This is exactly what we said earlier on Daf Yomi Gemara, that Rav Achli's statement is a machlokas Tanaim. We don't know which Tana says what, but that is the machlokas between the Tanakama and Rabbi Akiva. The Gemara continues, Tanya, we learned in a Brisa. Amar Rabbi Akiva says, Lo Amar Rabbi Yishmael davar zeh. Rabbi Yishmael did not make the statement that is made in the Mishnah. Rashi here says, Lo Rabbi Yishmael Amar davar zeh, muchzak ani bo shu chacham. I know that Rabbi Yishmael is a chacham, umeolam lo Amar davar zeh. And he never said this statement, meaning he never said the statement that if you have an entrance less than 4 amos, there's no machlokas Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. He never made that statement. Rather, Ella oso Talmud Amar davar zeh. Rather, it was the Talmud of Rabbi Yishmael who said this. V'halacha ka oso Talmud, and the halacha is like that Talmud. So the Gemara says Hagufa kasha. That's internally contradictory. Amrit lo Amar Rabbi Yishmael davar zeh. First, you say Rabbi Yishmael would never have said such a thing. Al malazil chasakavase. That implies the halacha is not like this, Rabbi. It's like you're saying it's a crazy thing, the crazy statement. Rabbi Yishmael would never make it. V'hadar amrit halacha ka oso Talmud. And now you're saying the halacha is like that Talmud. Seems to be that the statement is perfectly reasonable. So Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel. So Rav Yehuda says in the name of Shmuel, Lo Amar Rav Akiva Ela lechaded ba hatalmidim. No, Rav Akiva only made that statement to sharpen the minds of the Talmidim. Rashi explains, Lo Amar Rav Akiva lahai halacha ka oso Talmud. When Rav Akiva made the statement that the halacha follows that particular Talmud, Ela lechaded Talmidim. He only said that to sharpen the minds of the Talmidim. Sheyasimu libam laTorah, that they should pay attention. V'yomru pilpul me'libam lefikach shivchu b'fneim. In other words, he was praising this particular Talmud because the students would hear him praising a Talmud and they would say, "Oh, we want to get praised like this as well. We also want to say good divrei Torah." So that was a way of sharpening them. But in reality, the halacha is not like that Talmud. That's how Rashi understands that statement. But Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says, Nirin Itmar, that it appears, Rashi says, Nirin Itmar, Nirin Divrei Osa Talmud. What he meant to say was that it appears that what that Talmud said should be the halacha. Amar Rav Yeshua ben Levi says, anytime you find a statement that in the name of Rabbi Yishmael a certain Talmud said something, Lefnei Rabbi Akiva, in front of Rabbi Akiva, Eino El Rabbi Meir Shashimesh es Rabbi Yishmael ves Rabbi Akiva. It always refers to Rabbi Meir. He's the Talmud because he served both Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Akiva. The Tanya, because we learned in a Brisa. Amar Rabbi Meir says, K'shayisi etzel Rabbi Yishmael, when I used to be by Rabbi Yishmael, hayisi matel kankantum l'soch hadiyo. I used to put kankantum inside the diyo. The diyo, of course, is a kind of ink with which you write the Sefer Torah. V'lo amar li davar. And he didn't say anything to me about the fact that I was putting kankantum in there. Kishabasi etzel Rabbi Akiva, but when I came to Rabbi Akiva, asra alai. He forbid me to do this. And we're going to explain later on why Rabbi Akiva did not allow this kankantum. This is a kind of something called vitriol, which is made out of sulfur. Why he did not allow this in the diyo. So the Gemara says, Ini, is this really the case? The Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel, but Rav Yehuda said in the name of Shmuel, Mishum Rabbi Meir, in the name of Rabbi Meir, Kishayisi lo made etzel Rabbi Akiva, that when I learned by Rabbi Akiva, Hayisi matel kankantum l'soch hadiyo, I used to put kankantum into the diyo. V'lo Amar li davar, he didn't say anything to me. Ukashabasi etzel Rabbi Yishmael, and when I came to Rabbi Yishmael, Amar li, he said to me, Beni, my son, Ma melachtecha, what's your business? What is your work? Amarti lo lav l'rani, so I said to Rabbi Yishmael, I'm a scribe. Amar li, he said to me, Beni, my son, have a zor b'melachtecha, be careful in your work. Shemalachtecha meleches shemayim, because what you do is the work of heaven. Shema atam mechaseros achas, o miyaseros achas, maybe you're going to leave out a letter, or maybe you'll add a letter. Nimtzas machrev es kol olam kulo, and you're going to end up destroying the whole world. Amarti lo, so I said to him, davar echad yesh li v'kankantum shemo, I have a particular thing that I put into the, that I use, it's called kankantum shani matel l'soch hadio, I put it into the dio. Amar li, and he said to me, v'chi matilan kankantum l'soch hadio, are you allowed to put kankantum into the dio? V'alo amra Torah, v'chosav umacha, the Torah says that you write and you erase, ksav sheyachol imchos, meaning the ink that you use when you write a Sefer Torah has to be erasable. So in any case, you see over here that it's basically the exact opposite story of before. Here, he first does it by Rabbi Akiva, who's fine with it, and then Rabbi Yishmael says it's a problem. Gemara just wants to know, though, what exactly is the exchange over here? Rabbi Yishmael tells him, be careful, don't add a letter, don't subtract a letter, and he responds with kankantum. So, what did he say to him, and what did he say back? Gemara says, here's what he was saying to him. You don't need to worry about missing letters, adding letters, I'm an expert. But even if your concern is a fly, maybe your concern is that a fly is going to land on the crown of a dalet and erase it, and make this dalet look like a resh. You should know, I have something called kankantum that I put into the dio, and the Gemara now says, kasha shimush hashimush. First we have a question about who he served first and who he served second. Was Rabbi Akiva first or was Rabbi Yishmael first? Kasha asra, and we also have a kasha, who's the one that forbids kankantum? In one brisa, it seems like Rabbi Akiva forbids, and in the other brisa, it seems like Rabbi Yishmael forbids. Rashi here adds a little bit of explanation. Rashi says, Mechaser os achas. He says that if you leave out a letter, for example, Rashi says V'Hashem Elokim emes im techser aleph harei machriv. If you take out the word the letter aleph from the word emes, it's going to be mace. Instead of being V'Hashem Elokim emes, it's going to be V'Hashem Elokim mace. You're destroying the world. Similarly, Rashi says Vayedaber Hashem im tosef os achas v'tichtov vayedabru. Let's say instead of writing Vayedaber, he spoke, that Hashem spoke. You write they spoke, and imsas machriv. Again, you're making it seem like there's more than one God. He said, Davar echad yeshli lekamen mefarish ma'ikam hadirle. The Gemara is going to explain the exchange. And then he says, Ksav sheyachol limchos v'kankantum rishumo nikar ma'od. Rashi says, when it comes to kankantum, the imprint is very strong, and that's why it's not going to erase. My kamer le Rabbi Shmuel, my kamer hader le Rabbi Meir, azer le al chaser v'yeser, umahader le kankantum yeshli. What's going on? He said, Rabbi Shmuel warned Rabbi Meir, don't leave out or don't add, and he says back something about kankantum. Kasha shimush hashimush to kamer le'el kamei Rabbi Shmuel shimush tchila v'achatani yivcha. First you say he served Rabbi Shmuel first, then you say he served Rabbi Akiva first. So what's going on over here? So the Gemara says as follows. The Gemara answers, Bishlam hashimush hashimush lo kasha. It's not difficult in terms of shimush. Who did he serve first? Meikara asalakami de Rabbi Akiva. Could be first he came to Rabbi Akiva. Umidalo matzi lamekam alive, but then he couldn't understand what was going on in the shir. Asalakami de Rabbi Shmuel. So then he went to Rabbi Shmuel. The Gemara and learned a little. V'hader asalakami de Rabbi Akiva. Then he went to Rabbi Akiva. So it could be that in a sense both were really first. Rashi here says Rabbi Akiva haya charif tuva. Rabbi Akiva was very sharp. V'lo matzi Rabbi Meir lamekam alive. Rabbi Meir couldn't understand what was going on. Gemara Mishnayis Shekiva Merabosav. Once he learned the Mishnayis, V'hader also Lakami Rabbi Akiva Sheyacharif Lepalpil Ledaktek by Meshalamad Lashiv Chuvos. So Mishnayis do also Lataritz. Then once he learned through all the Mishnayis, he was able to go back to Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Akiva's business was to say the contradictions between the various Mishnayis and go deeper. Then he was able to understand the shir of Rabbi Akiva. So that we can understand the answer of how he was first. In a sense, he was first by Rabbi Akiva, but in a sense also he was first by Rabbi Yishmael. Ella Osra Kash, but we do have a question of who is the one that forbids kankantum. Is it Rabbi Yishmael? Is it Rabbi Akiva? Gemara says to that, Kasha, you're right, that is difficult. We don't have an answer to that question. In other words, one brisa seems to say Rabbi Akiva is the one that had a problem with kankantum. The other brisa seems to say it was Rabbi Yishmael. Tanya, we learned in a brisa, Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Meir hoy omer, that Rabbi Meir used to say, L'chol matilan kankantum l'soch hadiyo. When it comes to kankantum, you can put it into anything when you're writing the Sefer Torah in the dio, chutz mi parsha sota. The only time you cannot use kankantum is by the parsha sota. The parsha sota, of course, is the parsha which you erase when the sota is drinking the bitter waters. You have to erase this parsha, which is in the Torah, the parsha of sota. And so you can't put kankantum because that makes it not erasable. Rabbi Yaakov Omer Mishmon, Rabbi Yaakov says in his name, Chutz mi parshas sota shebe mikdash. It's only excluding the parsha sota that's in the Beis HaMikdash. Rashi here explains, Chutz mi parsha sota afila b'sefer Torah. The first opinion is saying even if you write the parsha of sota in a regular Sefer Torah, you can't use kankantum. Because the first opinion over here holds that if you want to use a Sefer Torah, use that part of the Sefer Torah as the parsha sota which you're going to erase, you can use use that. Therefore, it needs to be erasable even in the Sefer Torah. The other one says, no, Shema Mikdash, Megillah shall call Sota v'Sota. The actual Megillah that's used by Sota, that's the one that can't use Kankanta, but in a Sefer Torah is no problem. Gemara says, my Beinaya, what's the difference between the two opinions? Amar Rav Yirmiyah says, Limchok la min haTorah ika Beinaya. That's exactly the machlokas. Can you use the Parsha that's in a Sefer Torah, the Parsha of Sota that's in a Sefer Torah, to use that for a Sota? V'hani tanoi ki hani tanoi. And the Gemara says this machlokas tanoim is the same as the following machlokas tanoim. The Tanya we learned in a brisa, ein megillosa ksheira lahashkos ba sota acheres. You cannot use the Megillah of one sota for a different sota. Rav Achi bar Yoshia amar megillosa ksheira lahashkos ba sota acheres. Rav Achi bar Yoshia says you could. Rashi here says, ein megillosa ksheira sota shenichtava megillosa v'amra tameya ani. The case is, let's say a sota had the Megillah written for her, but then she admits that she's tameh, she admits that she committed the adultery. Upatura, so at that point she's potter, and you don't use that parsha anymore for her. Ein megillah ksheira l'sota acheres. You cannot use that Megillah for another sota. Al maksiva lishma ba'inan. You see that according to this opinion, it needs to be written lishma for this particular sota. V'uadinami dein mochkin laminat Torah. Presumably, the same would be true from a Sefer Torah. It's not written lishma. It's not written for this sota, so you won't be able to use it. That's what the Gemara is saying, that it seems like it's the exact same machlokas. So Amar Papa says Dilma Loi. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe the Tanakama said if you have a parsha of sota written for Rachel, for one woman, you can't then use it for Leah for a different woman. Aval gabe Torah, but maybe when it comes to a Sefer Torah, this stama mechtava, which is written stam, it's not written for any particular sota. Hachinami the mechkinan. Maybe the Tanakam would say it's not a problem to use it. And Amar of Nachman bar Yitzchak, Rav Nachman Yitzchak similarly says in the other direction. Dilma lohi. Maybe it's not the same machlokas. Adkan lo ka'amar Rav Achi bar Yoshia. Rav Achi bar Yoshia only said that you can use the sota from one woman, the parsha from one woman for another woman. Hasam only over there. At least it was written for a sota in general. But a Sefer Torah is written to learn from. It's not written for sota at all. And maybe you can't use it. Maybe you can't erase it. The Gemara now says, Does Rav Achi bar Yoshia not hold of the following Mishnah? Kasav get legarish as ishto. Let's say a person writes a get to divorce his wife, and we'll see the continuation of this case in the next video on Daf Yud Gimel Amud Beis.